Hi there, today we're going to be looking at two-step equations. First, we'll look at the main idea behind solving equations. Equations are statements that use the equal sign. Here we have an example of a simple equation. X plus 1 is equals to 10. X represents a number that when added with 1 gives 10. What is X? The solution to this equation is X is equal to 9. Equations can look more difficult, so we need a step-by-step method to solve them. To solve equations, we apply inverse operations. You can think of it like doing the opposite of an operation. There are 4 basic operations, which are plus, minus, times, and divide. The inverse of plus is minus. The inverse of minus is plus. The inverse of times is divide, and the inverse of divide is times. When thinking about equations, take a person who is carrying 2 buckets of water, like on the diagram to the right. He has 3 liters of water in each bucket and he is balanced. Imagine that you took 1 liter away from the left bucket. What might he look like? You might imagine that he is now unbalanced and he is leaning to one side. To rebalance him, you can take 1 liter away from the right bucket. Solve this equation. 3t plus 4 equals to 31. We want to get the term with t by itself, so we need to get rid of the plus 4. To get rid of plus 4, we need to do the inverse, which will be subtract 4. We'll subtract 4 on the left-hand side, and to make sure the equation is balanced, we need to make sure we do it on the right-hand side as well. So we'll have 3t plus 4 minus 4 is 0. So on the left-hand side, we're left with only 3t. On the right-hand side, we have 31 subtract 4, which gives us 27. We have 3t equals to 27. We want to get t by itself. At the moment, it's 3 multiplied by t. So to do the inverse of multiplication, we'll do division, which is divided by 3. Do it to the left-hand side as well as the right-hand side so that the equation is balanced. So we're left with t is equal to 27 divided by 3, which gives us t is equal to 9. We can check that this answer is correct by substituting it back into the equation. So we have 3 multiplied by 9, which is 27, plus 4 gives us 31. So our solution is correct. Solve this equation. 7 plus 2k is equal to 21. We need to get rid of the positive 7 on the left-hand side. So we're going to subtract 7 on the left-hand side and subtract 7 on the right-hand side to make sure that the equation is balanced. So 7 minus 7, it gives us 0, so we're left with only 2k on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, 21 subtract 7 gives us 14. We have 2 multiplied by k on the left-hand side. To get rid of the 2, we need to do the inverse of multiplication, which will be division. So we want to divide 2 on the left-hand side and divide 2 on the right-hand side. So we're left with k is equal to 14 divided by 2. And 14 divided by 2 gives us 7. We can check that this answer is correct by substituting k is equal to 7 back into the equation, which will give us 7 plus 2 lots of 7, which is 21. So this answer makes sense. Here's our next example. Solve this equation. 25 subtract 3m gives us 40. We want to get negative 3m by itself. That's the term with m in it. We want to do the inverse of plus 25 on the left-hand side, which will be subtract 25. So we'll subtract 25 on the left-hand side and subtract 25 on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we'll be left with negative 3m. And on the right-hand side, we'll be left with 40 subtract 25, which will give us 15. We have negative 3 multiplied by m on the left-hand side. We're going to do the inverse of multiplication, which will be division, and we'll be dividing by negative 3. Divide negative 3 on the left-hand side and divide negative 3 on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we'll be left with m, and on the right-hand side, we'll have 15 divided by -3. Our solution for this equation will be m is equal to 15 divided by -3, which is -5. X divided by 7 subtract 2 equals to 10. We want to get x divided by 7 by itself, so we need to get rid of the -2. To do that, we'll do the inverse, which will be +2. We'll do it to the left-hand side as well as the right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, we'll have just x divided by 7 there. The -2 plus 2 cancels each other out, and we'll have 10 plus 2 on the right-hand side, which will give us 12. Okay, at the moment, we have x divided by 7. So to do the inverse of divided by 7 is multiplied by 7. So x divided by 7 multiplied by 7 will be left with just x on the left-hand side. 12 multiplied by 7 will give us 84. Last step is just to check your answer. 84 divided by 7 gives us 12. 12 subtract 2 gives us 10. So this is correct.